No Man's Sky Desolation update is out in the wild and it is fantastic, but what can we do to further improve this wonderful new update feature? Stay tuned! Fellow travelers, welcome back to the LZ, and it's so good to have you back. I just recently reviewed the No Man's Sky Desolation update here. Check the card above and, of course, at the end of the video. But now we have the best update for No Man's Sky in quite a while. What can we do to further tune and improve this wonderful feature that could almost be its own game, really? I've gathered a list of at least 5 things that we can do to improve the No Man's Sky Desolation update. But before we begin, I want to hear from you. What do you think of the Desolation update so far? And comment below, what would you do to improve this update? And of course, don't forget to like or dislike the video depending on your feelings and if you agree, etc., etc. Also, one other note, thank you so much, everybody, for helping me reach 5,000 subscribers. Admittedly, if I wasn't such a lazy bastard, I'd probably have double this by this time. And I'm trying to reach a goal of 7,000 by the end of the year. Do you think we can do it? And now, without further ado, a quick rule about this video as far as these 5 items to help improve the Desolation update is concerned. The update is primarily focused on derelict freighters, so with that in mind, I'm going to keep the focus particularly on that feature, and on topic to exactly that. We can save whatever it is that we want for other updates for other features in the games for other videos. So let's get down to business with our 5 items to help improve the No Man's Sky Desolation update. Number 1, difficulty. One of the most common pieces of feedback that I see for Desolation is how easy the enemies and the general experience is for derelict freighters. Now, of course, No Man's Sky comes with its own difficulty type settings in the way of a normal, survival, and permadeath mode, which sort of deliver their own varying degrees of difficulty. But of course, if you're going it alone or with a friend on a derelict freighter, maybe it would be really good to be able to select your own difficulty at the initial monitor before the first door opens. And with it being procedurally generated, there's just so much that can be done to tweak the difficulty even just slightly. Enemies do more damage. Perhaps we can make it more cold, where you have to manage your resources a little bit better. Perhaps gun turrets aim and fire faster and do more damage. The possibilities are endless to make this a more challenge and more grueling task, especially for the more seasoned No Man's Sky players. And of course, for folks like me who enjoy a pretty much impossible task, I wouldn't mind seeing some better rewards for higher difficulty selections as well. Number 2, bosses. Clearly something has happened on these derelict freighters to make them this way, and of course they're pretty much dripping with lore, procedurally generated, that's pretty interesting to read and funny sometimes, actually. Everything is disheveled and disarray. The place is crawling with angry robots or aliens. But once you arrive to the very bottom of the derelict freighter to collect your rewards, that's pretty much it. I wouldn't mind a boss encounter with some pretty ugly horrors to whatever is responsible for what happened to these ships. Whether they be alien or mechanical in nature, these bosses at the end of these derelict dungeons that No Man's Sky desperately deserved can provide great loot opportunities and gameplay experiences. It's a little bit unfortunate that the aliens that we face are tiny babies in nature and not too much of a threat outside of maybe requiring, hopefully, a difficulty setting in the future. I don't know if I speak for everybody else, but I'm pretty sure everybody would be just fine with a little more variation, even just using some of the existing horrors in the game already. With every dungeon comes difficulty, with every dungeon comes loot, and with every dungeon comes a boss encounter. There's nothing more video gaming than that. Number 3, multiplayer matchmaking. No Man's Sky Online, and since the Beyond update, has come with the Nexus inside the anomaly. One of the more common complaints that we see about the Nexus is that the missions that are available for you to participate in with other players are just kind of lacking in the creativity and fun department. They're already the mundane tasks that we can do in No Man's Sky today. Derelict freighters and multiplayer missions, I can't think of a more deserving marriage in a video game ever. I know derelict freighters should be a little challenging to find and usually will come at a cost, but I'm willing to maybe lessen that cost just a little bit to ensure that I can do these fun events with other players. And with the No Man's Sky friends list not always sharing the same game mode, whether it be normal or survival or permadeath, having the option to be able to join up with other players to go raid these places through a mission, particularly at the Nexus, that is definitely something that your video game deserves, Hello Games, and we would love to see it. Number 4, events. I know this one's kind of out there, but I've seen quite a few tweets in my responses talking about how these derelict freighters can be a little more eventful. Have you ever played Super Metroid, where you go into that space station, you fight Ridley, and then you have to escape after the self-destruct mechanism was triggered? Yeah, we all have. Imagine grabbing the final reward on the very bottom of a derelict freighter only to have the self-destruct sequence triggered. And there's no quick way off of that baby. You have to escape before it blows up. Likewise, to the alternative, once you arrive, maybe one of those events has to be that you have to get to the bottom quickly to disable the explosion before it kills you on it. Just thinking about these types of potential really just gets me excited about what could really be added to this type of feature. And of course, lastly, but certainly not leastly, more impactful loot. Our best buddy Legendary Loot would be proud of this bullet point. Obviously, one can't complain about the breadth and the availability of the type of loot that comes along with these freighters. It's wonderful. Don't be afraid to add more to it. Freighter bulkheads and upgrades don't exactly have to be the final thing that you grab from the very depths of the derelict freighters, but they can even be a rare occurrence throughout. Of course, rare suit pieces, multi-tools, and all of those kinds of upgrades could be available too. Being able to jump to Twitter to brag that I found an S-class upgrade for my multi-tool and other high-dollar items that could be worth millions? Honestly, No Man's Sky having a loot mechanic at all has been a wish come true for me for a couple of years now. This is something that I've been asking for since the beginning of 2019. So the fact that No Man's Sky now has a loot mechanic and dungeons, this really makes me hope that Hello Games can see the potential in these two being married together. It's pretty exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, what features would you add to the No Man's Sky Desolation update to make it better? And of course, if this was useful to your No Man's Sky learning and viewing experience, don't forget to like or dislike, and then of course leave your comment and subscribe for more here in the future in the LZ. See you later.